to be talking about some of my new favorite features inside of Photoshop CC's new design space. So if you don't know what design space is, it's basically a streamlined interface for Photoshop that's mainly geared towards app and web designers. And this is an experimental feature. You can find it inside the technology preview section of your preferences. So if you open up the preferences with Command and Control K, you can go down to technology previews and enable design space right there at the top. Once you do that, you will automatically be taken into design space, but in this case, since I've already have it enabled, I have to activate it over here inside of the tools panel. And so this little button right here, when I click it, is going to take me into design space. And as you can see, when you get into design space, it's a very stripped down interface. Chances are yours will also have a different colored background when you first get in there. I have actually changed my background to be a little more pleasing to my eye because the lighter background is just sort of jarring for me, and I have a hard time seeing where the artboard stops and where the actual interface of Photoshop begins. But that's neither here nor there. So inside of design space, it's actually pretty straightforward. You've got some tools over here on the left. So you've got things like a select tool, a rectangle, an ellipse, a pen tool, and a text tool. Those are the only tools that you have right there. And so those tools are mainly for creating, rapid prototypes, things like that. Those are all the basic tools that most designers need to start making a layout. You've also got a persistent align panel right up here at the top, which is something I absolutely love. This thing allows me to quickly and easily align objects together, and it's super helpful. Most of the time when I'm working in Photoshop anyway, I have my own workspace created where the align panel is out on screen all the time. And so this is just something that I would normally stick there. You'll also get things like width and height, X and Y coordinates. You'll have rotation options here. Depending on what type of object you have selected, you may also see things like the ability to change the color. If you have text selected, you'll be able to change certain styles. All of that will exist right here in this style section. And then under here, you have, of course, your layers panel, which also shows you any artboards that you have. When you actually have an artboard selected inside of design space, one of my other favorite things is the fact that you get these little plus symbols all around it. These little plus symbols allow you to easily create new artboards. So you don't have to worry about going through any menus or having the artboard tool selected or anything like that. All you have to do is just click to add more artboards, just like so. And the artboards are automatically going to pick up the width and height dimensions of your previous artboard so that you can easily create rapid prototypes of multiple screens of an app or a website or whatever it is that you're working on. Now, the other big thing that I really enjoy about this is the fact that when I have an artboard selected, let's say the original artboard here, while I'm working inside of this artboard, I don't have to worry about what layers I have selected at any given time. All I have to do is point my cursor to something and click on it. And when I click on it, it automatically becomes selected. This is a behavior that's unlike the behavior of regular Photoshop. When you have the select tool in Photoshop, you can't just click on something to select it. You have to select the layer. And in order to do that, you either had to turn on the Command click shortcut or you had to actually go over into the layers panel. This actually performs much like Illustrator, where you just click the object. Doesn't matter if it's above or behind the object that you're clicking on. In the stacking order, everything just allows you to select right there. So that is very super helpful as well. You also get smart guides, so when you're moving things around, you can easily align things to each other. And then the one final thing that I think is just really super cool is the fact that I can take two objects and instantly swap their positions inside of design space. So let's say, for instance, that the client looks at this app mockup that I'm working on and they say, wait, there's too much yellow over there on the right-hand side. We need to change out some of those icons. So I say, oh, okay, no problem. Maybe we'll put the mail icon up where the phone icon is. Normally, in Photoshop, what that would require was me moving the mail layer up here, and then I would have to take the phone layer and then move it down here, and I would have to make sure that all the alignment checks out and all that stuff. With Design Space, all I have to do is select the mail layer, hold down Shift, and select the phone, then come up here inside of my tools, and right here there's a little swap position button. When I click on that, they instantly change places. Then I notice, well, now there's too much yellow in that row. No problem. Let's switch the phone with this play button down here. So I'll select the play button, hold down Shift, select the phone, and then we'll swap those out. So now we have all of those swapped out. You can go, it doesn't matter where the layers are. You can go diagonal, you can go up and down. They can swap places from pretty much anywhere. They just basically inherit the same X and Y coordinates of the previous object and flip right there inside of your artboard. So again, Design Space is an experimental feature. That means that it's not complete yet, but I think this is a great start. And anybody who is trying to use Photoshop as a screen layout tool, that means creating things for websites, mobile applications, things like that, I think that you should definitely check this out and see if it fits into your workflow. And that's going to wrap it up for this little video. So if you have any questions or comments, you can drop them here on my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at Justin Seeley. And of course, you can find all of my lynda.com courses at lynda.com/Justin Seeley. That's where I've got all of my CC Updates courses and also my newly recorded, completely revamped Illustrator CC Essential Training. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned a little bit too. And I hope to see you again real soon.